After another day of heavy rain and high winds in the south and southeast, Gardaí and Clonmel in County Tipperary say floodwaters in the town are beginning to recede tonight. There were fears that the River Suir would burst its banks again, but the situation has now eased. Conditions were also better in both Waterford and Wexford, and while there was some minor flooding in the Keys area of Carlow town, all roads in the area are passable. However, the Met Service is forecasting very unsettled weather for the next 4 or 5 days. All Aer Lingus transatlantic flights have been cancelled until further notice because of the blizzard in the east of the United States. 19 people have died in the storms there, and a state of emergency has been declared in 8 states. Gardaí now believe that the 41-year-old civil servant Marilyn Rinn, whose body was found yesterday near Blanchardstown in Dublin, was raped and strangled. They also believe she was murdered close to the spot where she was found. The Fianna Fáil leader Bertie Ahern has accused the coalition of not providing sufficient resources for the fight against crime. Earlier, the Minister for Justice, Norah Owen, said she would be bringing a report on the prison service to government within weeks, while the Prison Governors Association called for more prison spaces to be made available. Thursday will be a day of national mourning in France following the death of François Mitterrand after a long battle against cancer. The former president will be buried after a private funeral in his hometown of Jarnac in the southwest of the country. President Robinson and the Taoiseach led the many tributes here to Monsieur Mitterrand. Now a look at the weather forecast. We can expect clear spells and scattered showers during the night. The showers heavy and thundery at times, particularly in the west and south. Continuing mild but very windy with lowest temperatures of 7 to 9 degrees. All areas will have heavy, squally showers tomorrow, falling as rain or sleet at times and some still bringing thunder. The strong winds will only moderate late in the day, and it'll be cooler than recently with top temperatures of 8 to 11 degrees. And that's it from the newsroom for tonight. A very good night to you.
He wanted a bike for Christmas, a big bike. Said the old one was only for children. It took him some time to master the big bike. Now and then he needed a helping hand to steady him on his way. I was happy to be able to help. He's more confident now, and I'm sure he'll get hours of pleasure. Father, be with all our children as they travel on life's highways and byways. And if they happen to lose their way now and then, be at their side to guide them safely back.
Checkup is back on Tuesday with the story of a remarkable young man, Danny Purcell. Danny has progeria, one of the rarest conditions in the world. This means that he ages at about 5 times the normal rate, and now has most of the problems associated with extreme old age.
Hello, Dan. How are you?
But at only 22, Danny is now the oldest surviving person with progeria in the world. That's Danny's story on Checkup, Tuesday, 8:30 RTE 1.
Time to look ahead to Tuesday morning on 2 Now, and at 9:35, one of Widget's friends builds an android to help clean up the environment. John Wayne tops the bill in our movie at 9:50, Dark Command, the battle for land in the days before the American Civil War. We take the high road to Glendarroch at 11:30, and following the midday news summary, Sienna and Marty present 12 to 1. And at 1 o'clock, we've the lunchtime news. Early Tuesday on RTE 1. And early or late, I hope you'll join us tomorrow. But now with the time at half a minute past midnight, from director Declan Steadman and me, Michael Keneally, have a peaceful night. Tá súla going gur bhain sibh sult as clárach an luan an sá bhealach a héana a chuirte, go múla míad le chéile a ríist, colla sábh is go nuaití a chuimh.
severe political pressure because of the perception they're not doing enough to combat crime. Stung by the implications that they were partly responsible for the temporary release of dangerous criminals back into society, the governors of the country's prisons this evening hit back. They said a serious shortage of prison accommodation has affected the prison service for over 20 years. The system, they said, is being seriously undermined by demands beyond their control, and now it simply can't respond. The Minister said today she'll bring the interdepartmental report on prisons to government within the next few weeks, but the issue is expected to be raised at tomorrow's Cabinet meeting.
Tonight, the Fianna Fáil leader Bertie Ahern accused the coalition of not providing sufficient resources for the fight against crime. He also said government disarray on the issue was putting criminals back on the streets. The Cabinet is expected to resume consideration tomorrow of the budget package to be presented to the Dáil in 2 weeks' time. At their first meeting of the new year, ministers will consider particularly the need for measures to deal with long-term unemployment against the background of last month's sharp jump in the numbers out of work. The government has been warned that hospitals throughout the country could be hit by major disruptions unless nurses get more money and better working conditions. George Devlin reports.
Nurses say they have been neglected for years and years, with the result that their morale is at its lowest ever level. The 4 unions representing them have set up a nursing alliance to launch a campaign for justice on behalf of the Republic's 26,000 nurses.